Hi y'all, I'm Chase. Behind me, this is my 2021 Pan America Special, affectionately known as Wichita, and this is the rest of the review. This is part 2. This is all the good stuff. This is the dessert. Let's just start off with what everyone seems to love, the horsepower and torque. Yeah. This is stated to be at 150 horsepower and I think 94 foot-pounds of torque. But that's what's stated. What's actually coming out the rear wheel is, what is it? I think it's about 130 and 79, almost 80. You can see that here. Yeah, that's from Fuel Moto. And I know 130 horsepower and 80 foot-pounds of torque doesn't sound like much, but when you compare this to its competitors, it's very, very close. The R1300 GS, I'm going to put that here. Yeah, that's a 1300. They had to make it a bigger engine. I'm pretty sure it's beating, I don't remember what the numbers are offhand, but I know that it's beating the Pan Am in torque, but it doesn't beat it in horsepower. So depending on, you know, what kind of riding you do, that may be helpful. There's also the Super Adventure, the KTM. That's beating it in horsepower. I think it might be beating it in torque too. But also, that is a KTM, and great, you're on the bleeding edge of horsepower and torque, but they're not really known for their reliability, let's say. The Africa Twin. And that one's pumping out, I think it was like 86 or 87 horsepower. I'll put the numbers right here. And also like 70 foot-pounds of torque. I think I remember reading it. It was like 94 or 93 Newton meters, which equals out to about 70 foot-pounds of torque. So, granted, that bike only weighs about 500 pounds. So you're losing about 60 pounds off of this. The other thing, let's see. Now we've talked about horsepower and torque and the competition. The suspension. The suspension on this is superb. It is absolutely superb. I've never ridden on a better suspension in my life on anything. Seriously, there's nothing. Honestly, I can't think of anything that's better. Like I said, I've ridden an Africa Twin before. I liked it, but not as good as this. This is... Now, the new Africa Twins, the 2024s, have an electronic suspension. Maybe they're better now, or maybe they're, I don't know, in league, the same, comparable, I don't know what you want to call it, but maybe they're close. They might be exactly the same. I couldn't tell you. I haven't ridden one of those yet. I rode, I think it was a 2021 or 2022. I don't remember which one. She is fast. As, well, for an ADV, this is not a sport bike. Also, it's not really a cruiser either. It's like in between. So let's go to this. Yeah, that's that's a new high score for me. That's a new high score. So yeah, it's pretty fast. Let's see. All the programmable modes. That is very nice. I mean, having rain mode is okay, but being able to program in a mode where you can set your suspension, your throttle sensitivity, oh man, just engine braking, your braking itself, your traction control. I mean, that's really, really nice. I don't think that I would change anything about it. I really like that feature, features actually, because it's like, there's 3 different custom modes. One is an off-road custom, and then there's 2 A and B custom modes that you can set up however you want. And man, the automatic ride height is also nice if you're a shorter person, or if you're just one of those people that wants to have 2 feet on the ground when you come to a stop. It's great. Man, it's something that you don't know you'll like until you have it. Off-road ability, this is not a trials bike. This is not a, it's not even a dual sport. It's a heavy bitch. Sorry, she's heavy. She is portly for an off-road bike. But, I mean, I took it on the grass in my yard. I go up my gravel road plenty, and my gravel road changes from season to season. They lay down gravel, and I'm telling you, that hill that I have to climb, I think it's about like this. This is about the grade it is. I'm not joking. Seriously, it's about like that. It doesn't look like it on the camera. You can't really tell. It is a, it's a steep incline, and they throw gravel on it, and man, that stuff is like marbles. Eats it like it's breakfast. Asks for more. I have the traction control set to sport mode, sport off-road, in my custom off-road mode, and it works great. It doesn't kick in. It's not a hindrance going up that road. It never kicks in at the wrong time. It's capable, and I'm talking with the stock tires. You could probably get some knobbies, and it would be even more capable, but for my needs, I'm going to go on trips. Every ride I take is about 50 miles. There's never a time where I don't ride 50 miles. If I take the bike out, it's 50 miles. Even if I'm just going into town, it's 50 miles, no matter what. So comfort is a big one, and this bike is comfortable for that. But having the, at least let's call it, mediocre off-road capability, it's nice. This is after I've had, cruisers, a bagger, a Dyna Sportsters, ZX6R, sport bike. I'm telling you, taking a sport bike up that road, not fun. My Aprilia Shiver, my Naked, that was a little bit better. I think it's all about positioning, but the tires on them were never good enough. I don't remember if any of them really had traction control. Maybe a little bit, but you wouldn't be able to tell. Let's see. The TFT. This is the first time I've ever owned a Harley-Davidson that I didn't have the the Speedo fog. This is the first time. No Speedo fog. Wow. Yeah, first time I've ever had that. Every other Harley I've ever owned, Speedo fogs up. You get some weird fog. It ends up in the speedometer. You can't read the damn thing, and it just makes you mad. I don't know how long this has been a problem. I'm guessing for a very, very long time, because guys, I've seen guys talking about it in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s. You guys talking about like, oh, my Speedo fogs up on my 72, shovel, or, my 85 FXR. Yeah, it's been an issue for a very long time. Everybody else seemed to be able to seal their stuff, but not Harley for some reason. So who knows? But yeah, the TFT Dash. Oh, and it's also very nice that there's everything that I need to know on it. I actually figured out that I had a little sticker in my tire. I had got I don't know if it was a nail or what, but I figured it out pretty fast because I was on the freeway and I noticed that my tire pressure was not going up. My back tire, the pressure on that wasn't rising like it normally does, but my front tire had. Normally it's about 4 or 5 PSI when you're on the freeway and you've been on there for a while, and I thought, man, that's weird. It's like my tire's not heating up. And I thought, oh crap. Got off, checked. Yep. I found a nail or a piece of cable or God knows what it was in the tire. And that actually might have saved me some, like a trip or a call to a wrecker or something like that to come get the bike. I was able to get off, find a gas station or a place, and patch the tire. Well, plug it. So, I mean, the temperature, it lets you know if something's wrong. And it's almost an immediate feedback, which is very, very nice. On every other bike I've had, I mean, it had digital gauges and dummy lights and stuff, but the specificity, is that the word? Of information, it's nice to have, and especially at a glance. So that's really great. Oh, being able to see the display, speed, and everything else without having to literally cock my head way down and look at the tank. Also very, very nice. Everything else I've ever had, you had to kind of take a look down. This I can literally just, it's in my field of vision. So that's nice. No valve adjustments. No valve adjustments. That is nice. Having hydraulic automatically adjusted valves, very, very nice. Awesome. The paint. I am impressed with the paint. I don't know if Harley used a different paint or put it on thicker or what, but the paint going up my gravel road, it's rough. Especially, I mean, different times of year before they lay the tar down and stuff. Yeah, I'm surprised that the paint is holding up as well as it is. It's really holding up well. I mean, really well. I don't have any big scratches or anything. It's holding up well. Comfort on this bike, due to the suspension, is very, very good. The old seat, the OE seat, is, let's use the word again, mediocre. It's mediocre. It's not great. It's okay. The problem is it's slanting forward and tries to slide you into the tank. Now, I did buy a Chinese seat because it was only $100. I tried a bunch of other stuff trying to even it out, flatten it out. Nothing really worked with the old seat. And I actually did try the old seat. I just wanted to see if it was any better than I remembered. It was bad. Yeah. I did make it about 60 miles before it was like, yeah, I think the foam is just disintegrating at an accelerated rate at this point. It was like sitting on a wooden board compared to the new seat. And this is it. Like I said, it's cheap Chinese. I'm actually looking at a Saddleman, the touring seat, because the Saddleman touring seat from Anton G, I think that was the, I can't remember all the numbers at the end, but he had commented that he had got one and it's nice and bench seat flat. So, ooh, I like that. So that's probably what I'll be getting next. Probably not for a while. Since it's comfortable with this new seat, a lot more comfortable, I would call this touring capable. Probably more so than a bagger. And I have no regrets trading my Road King in. I loved my Road King. Don't get me wrong. It was a great bike. Seriously. Great. It's still my favorite looking bagger. I know. What about the Road Glide and the Street Glide? I like the classic looks of it. Now, I've got the Gravel Glide back here, and I'm telling you, as far as wind and stuff, this stuff, I don't know. It's better at blocking wind than your average bagger. Now, if you get an Ultra or something along those lines, the big full fared bottom lowers and stuff, yeah, it's not going to block more wind than that. But this has built-in lowers already on it because they're covering up the radiator, the corners of the radiator, so it doesn't get bashed. So, built-in lowers. This is going to be a better bike for touring. Let's see. I think the coldest I ever took my Road King out was about 50 degrees. Now, I didn't have heated grips or any of that. I'm talking like jeans and a leather coat and some gloves. So, this definitely beats that. It was like 39 degrees one day when I was out on this. Now, I was cold, but I was dressed the exact same way. This has heated grips, all that. I had the same clothing on, but with heated grips and how much wind this thing blocks with all the fairings and the lowers and everything. Seriously, 39 degrees. It felt about as cold as it was at 50 degrees on my Road King. So, an extra 10 degrees. I rode this all year, for a whole year, from June to June. Well, to now, it's actually October, but all this last year, I've ridden it, except for 1 month. I actually got a ride in every month except January. The only reason I didn't take it out in January is because that whole month, we had snow on the ground, and I'm sorry, I don't go out when there's snow on the ground. We're talking like the roads. The roads were icy, slick, snow on the ground, and I live in, well, you see where I live. I live in the foothills, the Appalachian foothills, and it is, let's just call it gets treacherous and slick. And being on two wheels, it's dangerous. So, Aftermarket is catching up. I have a Stealth exhaust. I have these Villain to Hero bags with integrated crash cages. I would highly recommend them right now. I think they're like $410. Yeah. Aftermarket is catching up. There's all kinds of stuff. I try to stay away from buying anything Chinese. The only thing I've ever bought for this that's Chinese is my seat. Everything else, I think it's everything else I've ever bought has been made here in the USA. Bolts, anything. So if that's what you want to do, I mean, you can try Chinese stuff. Let's just say I've worked in manufacturing enough to know that heat treat and metallurgy matters. BCM, ECM updates. Make sure you get all of them. This is especially important if you have a 21 or 22 or even the 23s. I think the 24s probably wouldn't need anything, but they should be like fully updated. But the 21s, 22s, and 23s, I think there's updates for all of them. Make sure you get those. It makes such a difference, such a big difference. Really, I'm thoroughly impressed by the Pan Am. I'm ecstatic. Every time I go out to ride this, I get the giggles. And I've had that before, but I don't know what it is. I feel like I finally found the right bike, or at least the right style of bike, the adventure bike. Mostly because where I live, it matters. It matters what kind of bike you have, and not because I care about what other people think. It's capable, its capabilities. That's what matters. And being able to go up my gravel road with ease, being able to travel long distances. I mean, I've done a couple 300-mile days, actually more than a couple. I've done 500-mile days, and I've never had a bike where I get off of it and I have a bad back and a bad neck. I have like a bunch of discs that are not in good shape. So I can get off of this and I'll be hurting, but never near as bad as I was hurting when I would get off of any other bike. The closest I would say this comes to comfort-wise is a bagger, but this just smokes any bagger. I mean, just smokes them all easily. I think a lot of it has to do with the suspension. If Harley puts the suspension on a bagger or something akin to it, well, the electronic suspension, you don't need the automatic ride height adjustment with a bagger. I mean, those already sit pretty low. But if they put the electronic suspension on it with that comfort setting, I'm not sure you'd be able to get the same kind of comfort out of it. This is a lot more travel than you're going to get out of any bagger. I mean, I think baggers are like 3 to 4 inches of travel front and rear. This has like 8. I think it's like 8 front and rear, or 7.9, or I don't know. It's close to 8. So that much suspension travel makes a difference. And I was a ADV hater. I hated ADVs. And then I took that Africa Twin, and that was like a 2021 or 2022 for a spin. And it impressed me. I still ended up getting the Pan Am, just because I don't really have a Honda dealership that was very close to me. I didn't have one. We do now. Apparently I found one. They opened recently within the last year. So now I have a Honda dealership close to me. I might have ended up with a Honda if they'd opened earlier. Now I have a place that I can go get it serviced. I can get the extended warranty and get that. If something breaks, I can get it serviced there. But I'm very, very pleased with the Pan Am. So I guess to sum up the 1-year review is, this is a 2021. This isn't even a 2022, 2023, 2024. This is the very first year, and mine is an early model. I think mine was like April or March, I think I remember. So yeah, it's an early 2021, and it's doing great. I wouldn't hesitate to buy it again. I wouldn't hesitate to buy a 2021 because most of the ones that were going to have problems, they're gone now. Or they've been repaired. They've had new engines thrown into them. They've had the, fuel pumps replaced. They've had the, clutch on the starters replaced, or the batteries replaced, because apparently the first sets of batteries were not so good. And there was also like some stators that kind of fell apart. And then there was one more that you had to look out for. It was the chain tensioner for the cams, cam chain tensioner. Yeah, apparently there were a few brittle ones that made it out and they shattered. Now, those, I guess, happened within the first 500,000 or 600,000 miles that people had them. So those were out pretty quick. But other than that, I mean, really, I don't think I could have got a better bike for 15 grand. I paid $14,999 for this. Seriously. I don't think I could have got a better bike for $15,000. Now, would I pay $30,000 for it? No, I'm not going to pay 30 grand for it. But if a used one came up and they had it for 15 grand or less, and mine only had 2,710 miles. I remember the mileage, 2,710. I would hop on it again easily. If it came up for cheaper, I would hop on it faster. I guess that's it. If you have any questions or comments, put them down below. I do read every single thing that you guys post. You'll know that I did that. I heart it. Also, like and subscribe. Man, I'd love to get to 1,000 subscribers. I don't know how many I have right now. I think I'm in the 650 area, somewhere around there. I'd like to get 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year. It's October now, so we'll see. Yeah. Click that link to be notified of any new videos I'm coming out with. Yeah, really. I honestly, I've never been this happy with a bike. Especially now that I have an exhaust for it that I really wanted. Man, it just sounds so good. Thank you for watching, lads and lasses. Stay stubborn, get out there and ride. Find something you enjoy. Never black pill. Bye, y'all.